Hey, I just want to say real quick, thank you for watching. I mean, you have a million things that you could be doing right now, but you've chosen to hang out with me for the next several minutes, and I really do appreciate it. So imagine with me for a minute. It's 10 a.m. You've been working for an hour and a half, deep work. You're ready to take a break. You open up your email or hop on Medium to read the latest story while you're sipping on your coffee or tea, whatever you prefer. And there it is. The latest story you cannot wait to read. The latest email you cannot wait to read. It's quickly open it up. You skim through it. You look at the bold words first and you say, man, that's good. You're feeling inspired, and so you use the web clipper of your choice, or you forward the email to save@fancyapp.com. And that article, the story, whatever it is, the email is never to be seen again. Now that's a little dramatic, but you get me, right? It's so easy to save nowadays that we've shortcut the process of allowing our minds to connect and relate to the thing that we just consumed, the things that we just read. There's a proverb in the Bible that talks about shortcuts, believe it or not. Proverbs 21:5, it says, good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. And that's not just with our finances, it's with all areas of our life. Poverty in our thinking, right? We lack substance in our thoughts because we are a hurried culture. We're a fast and efficient culture. So today I want to share with you my simple and slowed down 4-step process for distilling articles and emails. Before we get started, I do have a gift for you for hanging out with me and watching this video. This is my free guide on how to take book notes and get those notes and the insights into your second brain. And this without using Readwise. So by the end of the guide, you will have a simple system for highlighting books, a mindful approach for adding content to your second brain, a process for creating building blocks of knowledge, and a simple tip for making more connections in your second brain. The link to the free guide is down below in the description. Step number 1 is to copy the content into a new note in your second brain. Now, where does it go? For me, personally, I always organize by type of content first, and then I will link up the related notes and the areas and the projects after. In this case, articles, emails, and videos is the content type for me that this would fall into. And they're grouped together because I kind of see all those types of content as more like snacks compared to a book, which is like a meal. Now, how do I actually add the content? What I do is when I'm looking at an email, usually I will, instead of copying all the content inside of the email directly, I will view. There's a link usually that says view in browser. If you click that, it gives you like a simplified version. And from there, I can hit Command A to select all of the content. And then I can hit Command C to copy the content. And then I'm going to head back over to my notes, and I will Command V, paste the content into the new note that I've created. Now, if you want, you can use a web clipper. You can use the forward email option if your app is capable of doing that. The thing is, you just want to have a system for reviewing. I think that maybe an issue is if you don't have a review system, then it just gets lost and it's another thing that you've saved but don't actually get to distill and interact with. Okay, step number 2 is to highlight the things that stand out to you. You want to read through the content and identify what it is that speaks to you, what makes you jump a little bit. So as you're reading, you want to be paying attention to the single word that jumps out, that maybe you've seen over and over again in the content that you've been reading, in the books that you've been reading, and you're like, I need to highlight that because there's something there. It could be a phrase, could be a whole sentence, could be a quote, could be a paragraph. Whatever it is that is speaking to you, highlight it. Now, I will say that if you get to a point where you are highlighting most of the article because it's that good, maybe back it off a little bit. Or you can try, Tiago's progressive summarization kind of technique where you bold first and then you highlight those bolded items. So that way you have some distinction on, what's really important here. Again, the whole goal is to identify what is speaking to you. And step number 3 is to write in your own words one takeaway from the highlighted items and then make that your title. The easy way out is to make the title of the note the same as the title of the article. And I get it. Sometimes it's well said, sometimes it's well written, but then we're robbing ourselves of the opportunity of understanding and connecting what we are reading. The understanding comes whenever we can write it in our own words, whenever we can narrate, whenever we can tell back what we have read. And so that's why you want to write it in your own words. You want to create blocks of knowledge formed with your unique voice and your taste. And to do that, you need to write in your own words. I can tell you almost every time that I rewrite a title and I come back to it, I get excited. It's not because it's better than the original title. It's because it resonates with me. It's because it's something that I can understand. By the way, if you'd like to see a video on my process for how I write in my own words, drop a comment down below and let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in. Now you may be asking, why only one takeaway? It's like peeling an onion, right? This process is just the beginning. It's the first layer of me distilling the notes. I'll eventually come back to this note and I'll distill further, and then I'll come back to it again and I'll distill further. But the goal now is to make it discoverable. And so you want to do that quickly by just rewriting the title and making that the title of the note. Titles are like billboards for our notes, right? When you're searching and when you're skimming through the notes, the things that you're looking at first are the titles. When you're searching, the things that are most likely popping up are titles of notes. And so you want them to be specific. You want them to be unique. You want them to be in your words so that you can understand and know and connect easier. All right, last step. Step number 4 is make connections. At this point, you have created your takeaway and you've made that the title of the note. And now you want to use that thought, that main idea, to connect it to other notes. What are other notes related? So instead of asking, what category does this fit into? You want to ask, where do I want to see this note again? Right? You are not trying to become an archivist where you are categorizing by topic or a librarian. You're categorizing by topic. It's more of a writing standpoint, a creating standpoint of, where do I want to come across this note again? You could have come across an article that is clearly a psychology labeled article, right? But maybe it has something to do with, I don't know, surfing, that you are, some other thing that you're interested in, that you can relate, that nobody else probably could relate, but you. And so you want to think about that. What does this connect to? The other things, of course, that you can think about are, what are the projects that this relates to, that I'm working on now? What are the areas that this relates to? What are the themes that this relates to? If you want more information on connecting notes, I have a video. I'll link that up right now if you want to take a look at that later. Now, how does this look? At the bottom of the note is where I will add the word related, and I'll use bullet points, and then I will link up to either the projects or the other notes or areas, and it's all just in a nice box. I'll usually group it in what's called a block inside of Craft. And so at the bottom of every note, I have that there, and it's easy for me to find, and I can easily click into any of these notes and be taken to that note in that context, and then see that this note is also connected, because once I connect the notes, they both have a connection there. At least in Craft, I do. All right, to recap, number 1, you want to copy the content into your second brain. Number 2, you want to highlight the things that stand out to you. Number 3 is write one takeaway in your own words and make that the title of the note. And number 4, finally, is make connections. Thank you so much again for hanging out with me. If you're like me and you nerd out on all things personal knowledge management and creativity, I'm sure you'll like this next video.